Hey everybody, welcome to our Limitless Team call every Monday night, 8:30. So good to see all your beautiful faces. We're going to be real focused tonight. We're going to talk about two things. Three books, which I absolutely love, I want to share with you, and I want to do a little summary on one of them because it is so poignant. So if you ask me my all-time favorite book, without a doubt, it's called Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. I read it years and years and years ago, and it's a very easy read. You could read it in like an hour. It took me like 80, but you could probably read it in an hour.
80 years, he means.
Phenomenal book, and I'm going to summarize it because you're going to see the dots being connected. And I probably honestly read it maybe 3 times. And I was actually at a meeting a few months ago, and someone highlighted it, and I said, oh my goodness, it really hit me. And it's a simple book, but it's funny how simple concepts can blow up and change your world. So we're going to do that, and then I want to show you a system, a map, as to what we can do every single day. So some of you, some of us, we Wednesday turns into Thursday, and Thursday we're like, oh my gosh, what should I do today? So I want to show you a simple map of what do you need?
Lift up your computer.
Of what we should do, what we do. Come on now.
Yeah, you're looking down.
All right, here we go. So.
See, Wendy approves.
Better, Wendy?
She didn't want to look up your nose.
So I'm gonna talk about Who Moved My Cheese right now. Definitely get this book and read it. You can order it. My other 2 books, Rich Dad Poor Dad, no question about it, by Robert Kiyosaki. #1 finance book of all times. Easy read also. That's why I like them. You'll notice all these books that I like are easy reads.
They're real short.
Rich Dad Poor Dad, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And then GoPro. Those are my 3. So when we start someone up, we want to buy them a gift. We might give them those books. Certainly lead them to them. If you like other books, that's great. So Who Moved My Cheese? For those of you that don't remember it or haven't read it, the book was about 4 mice. 2 mice and 2 humans. 2 of the mice names are Sniff and Scurry, and 2 of the humans, but these humans, they're mice-sized humans. They're named Him and Ha. Very poignant. These 4 creatures live together in a maze, and they constantly have to find cheese in the maze to survive. Their simple strategy is they test each pathway until they find the cheese, right? Kind of like what regular animals do. They got to find food every single day. One day, all of them, they come across a whole pile of cheese in one spot. Enough cheese to last them a lifetime. So they end up camping. They set up their tents. This is where we're staying. The pile of cheese and food is right here. The humans, those mice, those mice-sized humans, Him and Ha, they settle down and they slowly get arrogant. They get a little pompous. They get a little ego. They show off their cheese. They brag about it. They take it for granted, no doubt. They live on their laurels, okay? And they get stuck in their old ways, right? They don't want to change. Sniff and Scurry, on the other hand, the 2 mice, they're always vigilant. They're ready to move when that cheese disappears. They're planning for it. They're foreseeing that happen. They're always checking their supply, counting their numbers to see when we have to move and identify new cheese. One day, you know what happens, Armageddon, and the cheese runs out, right? Sniff and Scurry, though, they foresaw this, as I said. They move quickly. They mobilize. Then they need to find more cheese, so they set out to find more cheese. Him and Ha, on the other hand, they didn't foresee this, right? They didn't want to foresee this. They had cheese for a lifetime, right? They bitched and they moaned and they bitched. Ooh, I think we have kids on here. They complained a lot when the cheese was going down to nothing. But their arrogance blinded them. It blinded them to the fact that they were going to have to identify new cheese. They didn't want to identify new cheese. That was their cheese. But they won't leave the area. And they're basically fearful of what's out there in the maze. They didn't want to go out into the unknown territory, unlike their counterparts. They got used to their old habits. They actually started to believe that they were entitled to new cheese. They were entitled to their same cheese, actually. They were entitled to stay here, and someone should be delivering that old cheese for them, that they didn't have to do anything. They became the victim, and they played that victim card day in and day out. I want my cheese back. I deserve that cheese. I'm not going for new cheese. And they would scream angrily day after day, who moved my cheese? Who took their cheese? So him and Han decided to stay and hope their cheese will just appear one day. That's literally what they did. They hoped that it was just going to plop right in front of them one day. And they stay bitter and they blame everybody. And there are those victims right there. They complain that they worked hard to find the cheese and they deserve that pile just to grow by itself. So after a long time, their situation hasn't changed at all. And no new cheese appeared in front of them. And they would blame each other for their problems. Eventually, Hem, he starts to get smart. And he decides, I'm going to die if I don't go find more cheese. And he sets out. He tries actually to convince Ha to go with him, but Ha won't go, right? Hem sets out to find these tiny new pieces of cheese in little crooks and corners of the maze. Far, far away, he finds these little pieces. And he did this so he won't die. He brings the pieces of cheese back to Ha. But you know what? Ha won't try the cheese. He's stuck in his old ways. He wants his old cheese. So this guy is dying right now. But he's so stubborn, he will not go for the new cheese. As Hem journeys out to new areas of the maze, he pushes past his fears and he learns all these lessons while he's trying to identify this new cheese for him so he stays alive. He writes a few lessons on the wall from time to time. He encourages himself to move forward and to keep going. And for Ha, he wrote those messages also. So Ha could actually learn some of the lessons that he learned along the way. So he finally finds a new place in the maze that has a ton of cheese, including all sorts of new cheese he finds. And he meets Sniff and Scurry out there who've been there a long time, and they've set up camp because they're in heaven now. They've identified that cheese. And so he actually writes all of these lessons on the wall, hoping his buddy will someday get out of his own way and come to learn that there's another way to survive. There's other cheese. In fact, there's better cheese out there. And these are the lessons that he writes down. Change happens, so we got to keep moving to the cheese. So they kept moving to the cheese. Anticipate change, right? They have to get ready for that cheese to move. And that's kind of similar. You can put the pieces together here. We got to monitor change, okay? So they were smelling the fact that the cheese was going away and they had to get to new cheese. They have to adapt to change quickly. They have to change. They have to enjoy the change, right? Because it's all about the journey, not just getting new cheese, but they have to enjoy the journey. And lastly, to be ready to change quickly and enjoy it again. So he learned all that stuff, and he was hoping his buddy one day would learn it too. I'm not going to give away the end, so you got to read the book. But that was it. And it's a simple concept, but when you're talking to people, if you can keep that in mind, right? Yes, we do like our old ways. Yes, we do like the things that are handed to us. Right, Crystal? You're shaking your head, right? It does. It means a lot. It's like so, for me, so poignant. And so when we're talking to people, we have to keep this, we have to understand that not everybody is ready for what we have. So we have to meet people where they are and show them in a way that speaks to them. And that's why when we talk about the personality traits, how people respond, it really helps us with decision making. So that was that. And now I want to move to a quick training today on daily activities. And then we can open up the call and Lisa can jump on in to talk to you about a couple things. So thumbs up on that. You guys like the cheese scenario? Good summary? Awesome.
Ha. That's all I wanted to say the whole time.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share. Can you guys, who can I see? Bob and Lisa, can you guys see my screen?
I can.
You can see it too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Let me just move some things around so I can see. Okay. Okay, guys. This is our system. This is one of the things that Susan Miller went over this weekend at Super Saturday. So good to see many of you there and many of you watching on the live too. Awesome Super Saturday. Great day of knowledge. And this is one of the things that Susan Miller taught Lisa and I in 2016. This is one of the things that changed our business, along with Drive the Line, load up the side that we always talk about. Drive the line. It's called loading the bases. What do we do every day? This is what we do every single day. This is what some of you do every single day. It's called loading the bases. who's on first, who's ready for second, who we moving to third, and who's going home. This is a baseball diamond, obviously. This is your business if you want this. If you want it to be simple, keep it simple. So I can advance my slide. Oh, I'm stuck. All right, I gotta come out of this. Oh, I'm frozen. Is it going forward there? Oh, there we go. Okay. So first base, it's connecting daily. Every single day we gotta connect with people. Every single day. We're connecting with people. We're getting to know them. We're taking them. Press play, take a look. The presentation's right here, right? Take a look at a video. Here's a link. So first base is the connection piece. We need to connect with people and make sure we have people on deck. We got Barbara ready to go. We got Linda, of course, Scott, Janny, they're ready to go to first base. So that's my list. First base is the connection. Second base, we now need to validate. So we caked Linda, we pressed play, I found out what she wanted. Linda, if I could show you the way to XYZ, are you open to taking a look? Boom, right? That's different from if she's ready, if I've already showed her something, are you ready to get going, right? So you use that language depending where they are on the journey. So Linda says, yes, boom, now I want to validate with her. I want to get her on a three-way call with Crystal, right? Crystal is an OT also. Linda's an OT. And I say, I'm so excited for you to meet my friend Crystal. She's my partner in this business also. You remind me so much of her. I just want to introduce you. That's a validation call. Get on a Zoom call. Plug them into Unleash You. Second base is validation. And then we go to third base. That's the enrollment. Okay? Talk about simple. These are the simple steps that we do. So don't think, oh my gosh, what do I do now? What do I know? This is all we have to do. And we keep people in the funnel, right? If Linda's not ready to enroll, say she's at second base, and I did a three-way Zoom Unleash You, she's not ready, she needs some time, awesome. I have her on that list that it's been validated, but she's not ready to enroll. So now I can touch her next week or touch her in 3 weeks, or maybe it's been every month, right? How long did it take Warren Lance to enroll Michael Klaus? Was it 6 years? Crazy. Some people 3 years. So you keep them in that funnel.
Just don't touch them for real.
Touch
on them.
Touch them. Third base is enroll. Boom, they're ready to enroll. Open up a wholesale account, go to isoproduct.com if they want more information on the program after they enroll, whatever it is. That's the enrollment process. And then home plate, you take them home. That's the duplication part. Isagenixbusiness.com, start here. That's where the training, the support happen. We know the links that we have that we use in the back office, links 1 through 8, getting your associate started. Obviously, if it's a customer, get them started with the 30-day touch. And that's it, right? So let me stop sharing for a second. And decrease that. Oops. Move this. So I can see everybody. There we are. So does that make sense to everybody? Is that helpful for people to know what to do? I'm on speaker view. Hold on here. Exit full screen. I can't see anybody. Okay, there we go. Was that cool? Did anybody? Yeah? So it's simple. So that's the process. And we know all the tools we have to take everybody from base to base. Any questions on that or comments on that? Anybody have anything to say about that? Jody.
Thanks. First of all, hi, Tina Carr. Thanks for making it on your first call. Happy to have you here. I just wanted to kind of comment on, how simple it is, not always easy, and the fact that, I've almost 2 years now and have really lived doing this slow, doing this fast, doing this slow, doing this fast. And I think something people can keep in mind is that this business will be whatever you want to make it. And if you're only have a couple people on deck and you're not, talking to a bunch of people every day, or you're just talking to a few people each week, that's fine. You'll move them through the bases, but just know that it's going to take a longer time to do that. And if that's your goal, there's nothing wrong with that. But I know I've talked to a few of you recently that do have goals to make this happen faster. And guys, there's no magic bullet. It's the rare person that's ready to go on the first exposure. So keep in mind that the more people you're talking to on a daily basis, the better you're increasing your skill set, first of all. And then secondly, the greater your percentage of moving people through that process. So, just keep that in mind. It works if you work the system, but it's also about how much you're putting into it. And that will then turn into your return.
100%. Awesome, Jody. Thank you. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up. The most important part of that engine is who's on deck, just like you said. So for those of you that do want to run and you do want to build with focus and clarity, keep that pen ready, that on deck portion ready of names, people are going to touch and connect with. Wendy.
Yeah, it is super simple. And I wanted to add on to what Jody said. So I was recently at University in Action this weekend, and David Wood went over a lot of different people's numbers of the millionaires who were in the room. And across the board, he just said that it takes on average 3,000 to 6,000 conversations to change your life. And you just have to be willing to endure the no's. So it was just a stark contrast to how I've had people who are like, oh, I've talked to 6 people. This doesn't work for me. And like, I'm not making any money. So it's just a big, like, let's put it into perspective kind of thing. So the more successful people actually say that get a lot more no's. And there's some pretty staggering percentages, like staggeringly low percentages. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But and he said the main point is, like, you get to choose your speed. Whatever you want to, however fast or slow you want to do is totally fine.
Love it. Thank you, Wendy.
I want to add to that very fast, Wendy, a great response to that. And no matter what the number people say is, I talked to 6 people and this isn't working for me. You could say, well, if you were looking for a job and you went on 6 interviews and you got a no every time, would you quit and say that wasn't working? Or would you keep interviewing until you found a job? Just wanted to add that in. Go ahead, Crystal.
I just wanted to add to that too, because I was talking to Josh today and I just realized that talking to people is the key. Like, you can reach out and say hi to 100 people every day, but that's not talking to people about Isagenix, right? Or I can leave voice messages, or, that's not talking to people. So when I kind of figured that, and I'm still figuring it out, but once I got that, it's changing a lot of things, because I'm actually talking to them, not, hey, call me if you're interested. And then, oh, I checked that off my list. I reached out to somebody. That's not talking to somebody, right? So
Awesome.
that was a big aha moment.
So true. Anybody else have any thoughts, comments?
I have some housekeeping.
All right. Anybody that was at Super Saturday want to give 2 words, 3 words, a quick 10-second what you thought of Super Saturday this weekend?
Kristen, you were there.
Would be off. Who else was there? Jen, Crystal. What did you guys think this weekend?
Trying to sum it up. I'm having a hard time.
I know that's why you didn't respond, because you're like, 10 seconds now.
Because I'm looking at my notes and I was like, and this and that. Yeah. You know what? Not that there weren't, because there were a lot of men there, but strong women, strong inspirational women is one of the things that I guess comes to mind. I'm always so inspired when I see and hear from people who have done this and have been in the trenches and have come out wildly successful. And I say, I can do this, and that's why events are so powerful, because it builds your belief because you're listening to the stories of others. And so, it's just, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Crystal.
I got one thing. So the big thing I walked away from, and I made a chart, and I just pulled up on my computer, 4 cycles a week, right? Like, that is so crazy doable for every single person. You need $240,000 in your bank account to get that, earning 5% to get that money, like 4 cycles. It's just, that blows my mind. And, to get 23 cycles a week, which I know is totally doable as well, $1,200,000 in your bank account, earning 5%, consistently 5%, for you to get that money. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, every single person no matter how hard you work this, every single person can do that. And I don't know many people who have $1 million in their savings account to live off of, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I took away. That was like so powerful to me.
Yeah.
I think I have a picture of that too. I can post on the.
Yeah, I have it too. We've done a training on that. So for those of you that don't know what Crystal's talking about, we'll pop it up. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. It's super powerful. And what she's saying is, in order to get that type of residual income weekly or monthly, you need X number of dollars in an account somewhere earning 5% interest. And the numbers are staggering. So we'll go over that for those of you. That was it. That was Crystal. That for me changed my perspective with when I saw Dave MacArthur do that like 3 years ago.
Yeah. I'm looking at, like, I've been saving a little bit, but my friends, I'm 40 years old next month. I have so many friends who do not have savings. And like, so having $24,000 in their savings account is like a huge deal. And that's a half of a cycle a week. Like, oh my God, like that's a half a cycle a week. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we hate to rush everybody, but we have 7 minutes left on here. I just wanted to do a couple of bits of housekeeping. First and foremost, this Wednesday, Isagenix Live, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I don't know what the conversion to Eastern Time is, so somebody help me. 5. Okay, thank you. Well, is it 5?
It's 2 hours after. Yeah, so it's 5. Is it?
Is it
it's
3
3
for
hours?
Mountain Time?
No, Mountain's not 3. Pacific is 3.
Mountain time at this daylight savings is 3, and then when we change the clocks, Mountain time is 2.
You're
Because
so
they
smart. I love
they
you.
don't
You are
change
so
their
smart.
clocks.
You're the best.
It's only because I've made the mistake about 100 times.
Listen to Jody.
Okay, so whatever. It's 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I know that for sure. Whoever believes what. There's a isagenixlive.com, Jody, I trust you. isagenixlive.com. They're going to launch the Healthy Living Guide. And there's going to be a couple of exciting announcements. So try to tune in and get your teams rallied up to be on this as well. There's going to be some amazing things coming out. Okay, Dash to Disney. We have 34 days left. It is not too late. If you are thinking that, this is not for me, or I haven't gotten enough points yet, just go smack yourself in the face, because you can absolutely do it. 34 days is a long time. Quick numbers. If you enroll 5 people on value packs and you help them get 2 people started on value packs each, you go to Disney. 11,200 points if you do that. So it is not too late. Just get to work. All right. New Year kickoff, January 2nd through 9th. Get those tickets. They are going to sell out. Isagenix is doing massive promos around this. The tickets will sell out. It is a much smaller event than I put an extra syllable in there. Celebration. It is nice and personal and quaint, and you can touch and feel everybody. It's not big stands, so you're actually on the same level as everybody, so you get to see everybody. You get to really mix and mingle with everybody, including a lot of the millionaires, which is awesome, because you've seen people on the podcast and whatnot, or Zooms, and you get to meet them. And they're going to be announcing the biggest contest ever in Isagenix history. Important piece there is that they are saying that between September 18th through December 31st, enroll 15 people. Enroll 15 people. If Jim and Kathy Coover say this is a huge deal, it's a huge deal, and enroll 15 people. Minimum 100 BV, which is cool because they've actually shifted recently to 150. It's minimum 100 BV, enroll 15 people. It is not that difficult. You have more than 3 months to enroll the 15 people. And if you look back at anybody you've enrolled since September 18th, those count. So these are all going to count as part of this new promotion going forward in the new year. Big deal. And then lastly, Josh and I have begun a group of 40 people on the program Transform You, which we started today. We're meeting right after this at 9 p.m. It's not too late if you want to hop on into that. Even if you're a day or two late, you can get started after us, but you'll still be along our guided group. I have to tell you, this is day 1, and we have this 40 people. the comments that we're getting already on this, people are lit up like goosebumps. I love reading it. Everybody's so excited. They can tell just on one day how valuable this course is going to be. So if you're interested in all, reach out. We can fit you in at any point. It's $149 right now. The retail price of this course is $259. Josh and I have a partnership with Rod Hairston, so we can get you these courses at a discount. So we'd love to have you for that. If you'd like to, we meet every Monday at 9 p.m. on Zoom. It is not mandatory. We have a private Facebook group where you can watch the recording, get everybody's goodness, and it's a great accountability program and tremendous growth. So if anybody's interested, we're still have some spaces there. And that is it for my updates.
That's it. Just to touch on what Lisa just said, it's not for Isagenix. It's not specific to what we're doing here, but it has everything to do with it. It will change your relationships with your spouse, relationships with your kids, if you have a real estate business, if you have another business somewhere else, whatever you do, it is all encompassing.
It's these two things.
It's about your growth, exactly. And it affects, many of you know I do some business coaching and consulting, and the first thing that we need to work on with a practitioner is their personal development, just like we talk about here. Just like if you're working with an accountant, they want to grow their business, it's all inside of them. This business is powerful. It challenged me. I got pissed off. I almost threw in the towel, and I realized that's exactly why I need to be doing this. So it challenges you and it pushes you, and it's just incredible. So like Lisa said, it's not too late. You want to do it, tell us right now. You can jump on board with us, and we'll be doing these things in succession too after this is over as well. So, all right, guys, we are going to depart. Love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to invite your teams on here every Monday night, 8:30, and rock it out, guys. Load the bases, load the bases, load the bases. Look for Linda. Make sure Linda's on first base.